Hi everyone, welcome again to my YouTube channel, Emanzi Business Marketing Agency. I hope you're well, taking care of yourself, keeping social distance, wearing masks, and now that the cases are going up by the day, I hope you only have to come to town when you have to, because Corona is serious out there. I thank Serena sponsors for taking care of us. Thank you for the venue. Thank you for always reaching out to us. You have never disappointed us. Serena is open, the hotels are open, the rooms are open, everything is going on, and there are some discounts that are going to run on the screen. And please don't hesitate to contact Serena in case you have anything, wedding, functions, anything, conferences, they are available. Thank you our followers, thank you our viewers, thank you our subscribers, thank you for the feedback from the videos that we post. We're really grateful. We are happy to know that we are creating an impact, and I also feel good that Emanzi is everywhere now. When they meet me, Emanzi, it feels nice when you're doing something good and you're changing lives. And today, this episode, I am introducing to you a gentleman called Karechera Peter. He is a proprietor of Karechera Samosas. Earlier on, we were like, should we call it Sumbusa, but I'll just say Samosa. But for those who will not understand the English language very well, it's Sumbusas. And it's not just any Sumbusa, or it's not just any samosa. It's a unique samosa that has it has a history that you just don't wake up and make samosas. This is a samosa. And why I invited him today is because I feel like people don't know that this samosa is there, and it's different from the rest of the samosas we pick in maybe hotels and restaurants. This is so different, and I thought he should take us through his journey, because it's a long journey and it's a consistent one, and it has become a legacy. And Peter is here to talk about, first of all, his samosa, the history of his samosa, and how do we maintain our legacies. You know, because you don't want to 1 year to be into something, the third year you're changing, you're in mandazi, the fourth year you're in a cake. How do you build that legacy that the whole world will actually know you for this? So Peter is going to take us through his journey and also advise us how we can stick with our vision and not, you don't beat about, changing. Tomorrow morning you're doing this, evening you're doing this, but you stick through thick and thin and pull through. Welcome, Peter, to my show today.
Thank you.
I am excited to host you.
That's great.
Another Calumet, and I'm excited to have you on board because you have a different vibe. Most times we're talking about goats, we're talking about these businesses, but now we brought a samosa, and I just want you to take our viewers through that whole journey of how you started and how it is that samosa has become a delicacy and a legacy at the same time. You can introduce yourself to your viewers again.
My name's Peter Karechera. I'm a young African.
With a glow on your face, young.
A young African of 53 years. I grew up in Kabale. My parents were medical personnel. They worked in dispensaries, hospitals. I was born in Xis Hospital.
Oh.
Not Kabale Hospital.
Was it drowning?
As they were on the move.
Was it drowning?
No, but that time it was still a nice place, and everybody really loved it, and it was still under the missionaries. As I was growing up, I grew up when my parents would be moving from dispensary to dispensary, being transferred to work in different places. My father, the business component out of my father, as I grew up, used to sell second-hand clothes. Yet he was a public servant. So the business acumen in him was right from the beginning. We moved through different places. Interesting, if I tell you where I started in my primary school, it will be very difficult to trace that place on the map. It's in a place called Rubaya, Butanda. It's called Rwanchere, the primary school. Where I was in a class, and everybody had jiggers except me. So from different places we moved to Hamurwa until he settled back to Kabale. By that time he had built a home there. But all those places he was moving to would maintain his job at the same time doing a side business of selling second-hand clothes. And that's why actually that's the history of his smartness. He had a nut where he would be able to pick the best, and out of the best it would be an attraction for others to wish to have similar things. So he would pick the good things, wash them, and to sell them.
Wow.
So when we settled back in Kawale, went to Gezai School Primary, Gezai School Secondary. But when I was in secondary, he was still running this business. That's when he started bakery. The bakery didn't start it alone. He was initiated by his friend Ali Karama. Ibis almost forced him to do that because Ali Karama was running the father's hotel. The father had, I think, left, or he had left. He had gone back to Yemen, but he was finding it difficult to run the bakery and the hotel. So, as his friend, he would sometimes request him where they could go together, and he sees what the workers are doing. Eventually, he wished him to be like sort of a manager or a partner. My father was not very much committed to it, but he continued because he was helping his friend. Around, I think around 1982 or so, for Ali Karama, his business was rides and schemes. He thought that he could not run the hotel anymore, so he requested him to take over the bakery business. Ali Karama had inherited it from his father. So my father started from an ailing bakery that was not doing very well. By that time it was located on Katuna Road. And he started selling from the hotel actually, but later on he moved on to another location. That's how he entered the bread business. He ran the bread business.
And he had very nice bread.
The best bread, bread and cakes.
And cakes. Very nice queen cakes.
Exactly. But with time, we introduced these other snacks, mandazi, half cakes. By that time, they had not actually started the samosas. Then, around 1988-89, he was hit by the big competition, Hot Rock. It introduced, it opened this first bakery in Kabale. The competition became so stiff, and being that they were running a bakery which was using firewood, the price of firewood had also gone high. It became so difficult to continue running a bakery at a profitable level. So they concentrated now on mandazis, some cakes, almost giving up. But somehow he insisted he stayed on. Then my mother, actually, the one who brought in the idea of samosas, my late mother, may her soul rest in peace. She encouraged him that they should actually try out on samosas. Shumbusha, no, it has a lot of tasks and it takes a lot of time. So she got someone who was making some samosas, good samosas, and he came to teach her how to do it. First day, the man reported, they made the samosas and sold them. It was nice. The sale was good. Second day, the man reported, work went on very well. Third day, the man disappeared.
Oh.
Now, people had started
And
getting
people
used.
are getting used to
Now,
that.
all of a sudden, they had no stock. But my mother was talented with her hands. She would not see somebody doing something and she would not do it. She would do it. With crafts or anything else that you can do with your hands, she could not fail. So she told my father, you know what? I can make this samosa. My father said, no, it's not possible. You have just seen the man for 2 days. I know I will try. They bought the ingredients. They started mincing the meat. It had to be done by my father. You know, with his ties. It was a big task. Because I recall when
the manual one,
manual one. I recall when she was narrating on their first day to produce that. It was a big house actually. But fortunately enough, they were able to produce something. The following day, she got someone to help her.
To even put you to take you back a little bit. Why that size? Which
Now,
is
before they
out
moved,
of
actually,
the order.
the initial size was slightly smaller in the first few days. But when the quality, when what they produced was loved, they decided to increase on the size. Basically, they wanted uniqueness. That was one.
Yeah.
Two, they had thought, and I still believe that the idea of having it as being a full meal, if you take one, should be really enough to do good for you. That's how they arrived at that size.
You can't eat 2 samosas of that one. It has to be one, and it's a whole day thing.
True. Now, at this level, that's when they actually found that they could specialize on something else rather than bread and manas, because half cakes were not making any profits. Samosas, they were attracting a crowd. And the man reported on the 4th day, 5th day actually, and he found stock there. He didn't even visit them, he left since then. But the original recipe that he showed them, he taught her, is not what we have now. She did a lot of improvements on that to arrive on what we have at the moment. She ensured that the quality was good, because it had, with time, there were so many challenges on that, and so eventually that's why we end up with that size and that quality.
So, how did you, how did she build it from there? Like, after knowing that this is it, and her market, she started knowing her market, then how did she, maintain the price? Because the price is not like these normal prices, fine. But I'm trying to understand how, because when you go to Kabale, the cues that we make for samosas, how did, there's no one else who can make that samosa.
You can attempt. You'll make probably some samosa. You won't make a shumbusha. You can attempt, but you won't make a shumbusha.
what qualities, like what kept her, because I know it wasn't you at that time,
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
them.
Mm.
What kept her with that, you know, that flow, because the flow is still there up to now.
Yes, true.
The clientele.
True.
Those samosas, by the time they come out of the kitchen to the bakery, they are booked.
True.
Sometimes your father is even strict. Like, there's a time I remember I went there, it was Christmas, and I asked for 15, and he told me if
That
you
was
take
a very big purchase, not for you.
because we were many, you know,
Yeah.
Christmas, and we are so many. And he asked me, when you take 15, what will your friends take?
True.
He said, I am only giving you 5. If you can't come back in the evening for 5 more, oh my God.
True.
So there was already a queue.
They had the advantage in they had been running a bakery which had very good soft bread. There are some people who have bread, but
That
it
bread
was really
will
good
never,
bread.
ever
You know,
be
I know
again.
you tested it surely.
Never.
The bread that built a clientele. Even Hotcroft moved to Cavalry. They had seen that actually we had the clientele, and they were able to. They would be able to get something to start from.
Because you were feeding the whole of Cavalry.
Sure. Cavalry, Xoro, and because pickups would stop there at our place to buy bread. So when there was a change of business, the first production was being done at the shop, which was opposite post office. The aroma would cross the road, buildings up, flats, all the neighborhood. The aroma would be, you really smell that something else is coming up, which actually became a challenge. In the first time of production, they had to produce for the first week. The second week, they had to shift. The neighbor said, no, you can't eat beans when there is an aroma of samosa. Things don't work out. So, moving on, when they moved home, where we had been making bread, they decided to demolish even the oven that was there. She moved for quality. When they listened to the customers, what the customers would request, most of the things that you see on that samosa, the size, the taste, it was out of the interest, the demands of the customer. No, this one was sweeter, this one was salted, this one was crispy, this one.
And they're not even spiced.
No spices.
No spices.
The only spice is onions, but in small quantity.
Yeah.
The rest we
because
don't put their
samosas
spices.
are spicy, and those with like ulcers, sensitive stomach. Some of us, you cannot just eat a samosa anywhere.
Actually, the spicing comes from the origins of the samosa. Samosas are from the Middle East. Then eventually India.
Yeah.
Actually, India has they make samosa. It's a home delicacy. For every home, every Indian home actually is able to make a samosa. Spicing was from India, so most of them who copied, they have continued with the spicing. But for us, there are no spices. The only spice we have there, salt. Is salt a spice?
No, it isn't. It's a mineral.
It's a mineral. Then onions, but limited quantities. They are really measured limited quantities. Most people actually don't know that they are there because the way we prepare them.
Because the way you mix them.
Yeah, the way we mix them and prepare them. So the size was out of what the customers were demanding. And being unique, we felt that they felt really that if somebody is eating a samosa, you don't need to make a single bite. And you know, but here they don't need those small things. You don't take a small bite. You take a small bite, a single bite, and it disappears. You really should feel the taste and feel that you have really taken meat.
I know. And,
that was
it's really rich in meat. Leave alone eating an empty samosa with corners, which
it has about almost 150 grams. It's more than 100 grams. More about 150 grams
of
meat.
meat inside it. Oh my God!
It's about 150 grams.
No wonder it's very healthy. You can see it.
About 150 grams. You can see it's quite some chunk.
This samosa salad. So after that, now your mom, now she established herself in Kavale. Then market. How did you? Because now you want to expand the market. Because how did you pick it up as the son? What made you think that, you know what, I need to take this samosa to another level?
I'll take you back a bit. By around after school, I went to several places. I worked in Uganda Craze. I worked in audit firms. I did accounting. I worked in. Eventually, I moved to the famous Waterfalls Express jet car wash. I'd been working there for about 10 years. I was at the peak. No, I could see there was only one option, either to own it, because I was the boss, either to own it or to take up some other challenge. During that time, I had run a Forex bureau for some time. I had run a franchise for some time, a telecom franchise in the north. I had done several businesses, and I had seen that actually where I had reached, I was able to take up whatever challenge that comes with the business. So around 2013, social media. We had Facebook. I had several friends. Said, but you man, we see these samosas in Kavale. Why can't we have them in Kampala? It was not my interest really at first, but I had wanted to run some business. I had wanted to do a delivery business, but by that time people were not in that delivery area. They were not interested in that. They were still personal, where somebody orders for food and you send, and they were not so much in that area. Then I tried also with cleaning, but I did not have the time for cleaning. So my friends on Facebook started it. They said, no, you bring, we shall buy. So I said, okay, fine. I made the first consignment. I remember it was January 2014, 25th January. I made the first order from Kavale after convincing Mzee that I really needed to sell this. I said, fine. I paid him. Back to them. They put them on a post bus. I picked them. It was around 2 p.m. Went to my office, called the people who had ordered, nowhere to be seen. Only 2 people appeared. Those ones who had hyped the whole thing disappeared. I took the things home and we ate them. First consignment was a big loss. But I felt I should not give up.
Yeah.
So I continued.
That's a
once a week. It was once a week.
Most of us expect roses. You know, a rosy.
No, it was not rosy.
First try is not.
It was not rosy. So the first year, I was
Why
getting
did you not give up? I'm getting
One, I looked at the legacy. They had struggled for so many years. Now I think, if I don't pick this business at this moment, it will be very difficult to pick it when he's gone. I either pick it now or it's done. And the rest of the family, they seemed not to be interested, and thought, no, I need really to pick up this thing.
It's a legacy.
I'd read so many books, people, big companies that have survived for so many years. Said, why not? Why don't we have it?
Like McDonald's,
McDonald's, the Starbucks.
Starbucks.
You have the KFC. KFC gives me a lot of encouragement for what he went through. So for the first year, 2014, I was bring single delivery. Every Saturday I would bring, some would buy, some would not buy. Slowly by slowly, people started getting used. Opening up a Facebook page as Kawale Best Bakers by that time. Yeah, people would make orders. At the time of picking, they don't come. But others would come, would pick. By the second year, 2015, I introduced the second delivery. We do Friday and Saturday. People were buying, slowly by slowly. But later, what I discovered actually, it needed really a lot of patience. The rate at which I had expected the growth was not easy, because there were so many products, cross products. If you want a samosa, a shumbusha, you can get any. The taste may be different, but you can get any. But if you are particular on a specific taste, it's like if you want to eat chicken,
especially if you
can eat chicken from so many.
But there's why you know that there is a chicken I want.
The chicken somewhere. I want. So to those who are particular, who wanted something tasty, would come. By the third year, I introduced this third day.
Meaning you're doing well now.
Yeah, was growing.
It was growing.
Was determined to come and buy and buy. Come and buy and buy. The challenges would come, especially I think in the third year. Post bus was having challenges also. I think the buses were old. One time I had a very big consignment on the bus. The bus had a mechanical breakdown in Rukaya. It was very sad.
I know.
By the time it reported, it was 2:30 a.m.
Oh my God.
Everybody was at home. I had a box of shumbusha. Nobody would.
And you know, of course, the next day delivery is rather.
And by the fact that they had been
in a box,
in a box for the whole day and the whole night, the heat affected them so much. It was a total loss.
That was a loss.
Then another delivery. Most of the drivers and the conductors knew how to handle the box, and they would put it in a specific place. But this time there was another one. He turned the box upside down. No, they crashed.
They crashed.
You could not differentiate the shell and the meat. That was the loss. So the challenges would come, but I would persist. So in the fourth year, with the challenges of post-bus, the buses now even moved out of post office to the bus park. Now picking them from the bus park in Kisenyi to Nakasero,
another hassle.
It was another hassle. They were coming late, and at the same time, the hassle to pick them from there to Nakasero, it became a very big problem. So I had one option, two options, either to abandon or to produce. But fortunately and unfortunately, my mother by that time was sick. She was around. She would come for medical checkups, spend some time. She said, why not? You make them from here. So I bought equipment. We started the first production. We're now in the fourth year. She did the guidance, the quality, because even during her time when she was sick, every production should make sure that at least she tests to give the remarks. Is it correct? Did you make an error here? Whatever challenge, I would call her. Whatever, we have had this and this. What do we do? She had all the answers on her fingertips. So by the time actually she passed on, she had emptied herself of everything that she knew about Shumbusha. That one, I thank her that she was able to pass on.
I'm sure she also thanks you that you took it up, because she must be proud that you kept the legacy going.
Sure.
That's why she.
Sure. So, for the last 4 years now, we are having the production here in Kampala as Kalechera's Shumbusha. Most people who follow us on Facebook, we have a page there, Kalechera's Shumbusha. There is also Kabale Best Bakers page because I promote the two of them. It's a family business.
It's a family thing.
I'm not competing with him. Even him, those who visit in the shop Kabale, he will send them to me if they don't get enough. Say, okay, you go to Kampala, he'll give you more. The same, I do the same. I refer people there. So we're able to work together, and there is no problem.
So, actually, what I've picked up so much from your conversations, that it all doesn't come easy, because most of us give up. It is between when the going gets tough, we kind of surrender. Well, like, it wasn't my calling. And another thing we also do, I've seen a lot in businesses, people underestimate their powers. Because for you are looking at your first consignment maybe of 20 samosas, and which was going to maybe make you like 200,000. But you're like, but now you look where you are. You're on now you're in a daily production.
Not yet daily, but we have the capacity to do a daily production.
And yet you don't regret, you have no regrets.
No regrets.
It has been a tough journey. You've had your losses, it has taken you persistence, but still you have gotten there. And yet that time of the first consignment, because also me, I'm like, post bank, when I change your box, you are now. That must have been a lot of money. That's something that can take you back and say, you know what, let me leave this. I can do something else. So, but you are doing it and you've persisted in doing it. Who are your clients now here? How do you get your clients? How do your clients reach you when they want? Do they give you a phone call? Do you have a base where a shop where you put this?
Now, to begin with, what I have discovered in business, once you have a very good product, it will make the noise for you. You have less time to make the noise. A good product will make the noise. How? Word of mouth is the best salesman. Once you have satisfied customer, you have more customer. You'll be able to get more customers. I started on Facebook. My noise was on Facebook. Through my friends, those who would buy, they would refer other people. Day in, day out. At the moment, on daily basis, I'm having 2 or 3 new customers who are calling me, whom I don't know, but they have been referred by other people who have bought from me. That's one thing I have discovered that works out very well. Secondly, the consistency. When you have the quality, people will rush for the product.
That is true.
The product,
quality should never
what I eat today
quality.
Should be what I will eat tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Once that is done, you have less struggle. But I wouldn't say that I've reached where I want. I feel I'm
not where you
I'm on the track. I'm not yet even quarter where I see this Shumbusha going. Because unfortunately we had a COVID problem. I had expected, but this year to move for an outlet. Because the product, I make them from home. People order on WhatsApp, they order on Facebook. I'm not using Twitter, although it is there.
I don't know Twitter.
And the delivery is done. I have trusted border guy who is helping me to do this. I've been with him for the last 17 years.
A border guy?
Yes.
Sure. Shall I know how many repeat?
No. I think I was just lucky I got him. He does the delivery.
That is so nice.
On top of that, I come town also.
And also do delivery.
I park my car to Christ the King, People come and pick from there. They send borders to pick. Others I send safe border to do the deliveries, and things are becoming easy. At first there was no safe border, but now with safe border also, it has also eased on my burden.
But that is so nice.
It has eased on my burden that people are able to get them at their homes in time. Actually, initially,
Because
people were picking
from
people were picking from home. But now, with the COVID, there was another opening actually. People discovered that it can be delivered to their homes.
So now you just, as long as they have a trusted person.
A trusted person. Then, every bad thing sometimes gives a good opening. We changed our production times. There is a group that is able to eat by around 9:30, 10.
In the
so
morning.
you can have a late breakfast, 9:30, but you have your hot shumbusha.
At your production, where is it taking place?
At home, at my home.
Where is that? Which location?
Nansana.
So those in Nansana, definitely, they are even more nearer to you.
They are more near. Those ones actually, those who want the samosa, they call and the delivery is quicker. It's actually extremely hot. You get it extremely
because
hot.
That one is just out of the frying pan.
Out of the frying pan.
Because I would imagine now those who are outside the Chira, Manyamunyonyo, and
we deliver there. On Entebbe Road, we do delivery up to Entebbe. I have about 2-3 customers. Entebbe town. On Ginger Road, up to Mukono.
Wow.
It depends who wants the product. Northern Bypass, Chiwature, Chisasi, all those areas are almost covered.
Now, we have finished our. Now we are doing well. What are your future plans? Like, where do you see this shumbusha? How do you? Because I heard you talk about an outlet. Why do you think of an outlet?
Now, the market. I would divide the market in about 3 categories. The consumers. There is the easy pick and eat. You call them walk-in, the walk-ins. Then you have those who are buying for the family, take home. Then you have those who have parties and probably get-togethers, fellowships, something like that. An outlet will become more convenient for when it comes to daily production.
Yeah.
Because at the moment I'm still doing 3-4 times a week. But with an outlet, I had expected to move to daily production.
Yeah. And an outlet is always.
But the daily production, I did issues with finance, has to be sustained. That's why it has dragged all this wrong. But definitely would add there more clientele for the convenience.
And where would you think the location of the outlet would be?
To be central Kampala.
Because I would imagine it can't be Nansana.
No.
It has to be central.
No, it's central Kampala.
And I think an outlet would be perfect because it reduces even on the stress of deliveries. Okay, deliveries can be there, but at least wanatunga n'abantu abasabara bypass. It's a good strategy. It's a good strategy. And I've realized those samosas, these are things people snack on. Breakfast, people in town as early as 6. So by 7, they're looking for breakfast. Yes. People don't have actually breakfast at home. That's what I realized. Then you also realize that even if lunch is at 1, by 3 they are hungry and 4. So they are still looking for what to snack because some of them don't want to go home in the traffic, especially those who came late in the morning. So you have those who are going to stick around. Most offices have kitchens, so even those ones will be looking for a snack. So I'm as a must. Yeah. Then for us who are going home, we don't have to bother you. Oh,
yeah,
for
you
me, bring
pick.
for me. Twamanya outlet.
It's
Mukuraba
easy
outlet, and
to
then
send
go home.
somebody to pick.
Because I know I've disturbed many times on your samosas. There's a time I was eating your samosas, I think the whole pregnancy. I would send for them, I would send my boy, go and checking a Christ, taking a motka to watch it. But Jironde, Sambosha, Washambosha, my husband, Sumbosa. But I know it is like addictive.
Yeah, sure.
You can get addicted to it. So, what else apart from the outlet do you?
I've taken up something which my father didn't do. During the time they were making bread and samosas, we learned by working with him, but not teaching us per se of what we are supposed to do. I'm making the samosas, passing it on to another generation. So my first staff is my wife and my children. I proudly say that now they know about 95% of what we do.
That is so nice. That is now.
They are young. If they are able to grow up during the production, I hope one of them will be able to love it and continue with it.
They will.
Because I also allow them even sometimes to do some these tea bites. They also earn money. For us who are working without any earning.
I remember all of you.
I've changed the strategy now. They work, they earn.
Then you pay them.
They also sweat. They invest in their money, their savings. They put in more money, makes tea bites, sells them because the market is there at home. He doesn't need to move around. Sells them, keeps his money. So they have specific days also they have to do the production.
That is so nice. That is so nice.
Not donating money.
That is really nice.
Sometimes actually the staff say, I don't have enough money, can you lend me some? They do, because they have some 20, 30,000. But the whole idea is that they do some saving. But you have to do saving when you are doing work.
That is, what you're teaching them is something that is very important. It's going to help them in the future. First of all, how to manage money, then to know. Most kids don't know even where money comes from. They just say things and things and things when you're telling them. But when they get to know how to work and they know this money is through sweat, they'll treasure it. They'll value it.
It's true.
It's something very important. So, I know your challenge. You've told us your challenges. You've told us your benefits, and you've told us where you're seeing yourself in future with Samosa. Which other people can reach you? I heard you talk about parties.
Yes.
You can produce for parties.
Now, we do our standard size. But when you are manufacturing something, you have to listen also to the consumers. You find Sandra has a birthday party for kids. It will be very costly really to have kids taking that large size samosa. So we do some like half size for parties, not for individuals, for parties. Those ones are parties. I need 200 pieces. I need 300 pieces.
You will never eat anything else.
Unless the only snack that is there. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult.
Are you planning to supply hotels?
Yes, I had tried even to approach some of them, but they are a bit conservative on some of those things. Because I'm not going to supply every hotel that it's a shumbusha that has some class.
It's not just that.
It's not an issue of pride, but if I take this samosa to Kisenyi, nobody will buy it.
No one will buy it. That's
nobody will buy it. But if I take it to Kampala Road, people will buy it.
Because they would understand it.
They would understand it, and it falls in certain incomes. You are competing, in Kisenyi you are competing with samosa of 500, when as I'm saying mine is 3,500.
Yours is how much again?
3,500 beef.
3,500, yeah. And what types do you have?
I have beef 3,500, chicken at 5,000, and vegetable on specific days.
Chicken one is chicken
and
is
vegetable
fantastic.
on specific days. And then the usual giant
Yeah, the giant one.
musibatai.
As for musibatai, when I would carry musibatai to school when it was still 500 shillings. And
For those who love
yeah,
snacking
yeah.
as a group, it does
and
wonders.
it's still unique. I've tried musibatais, but that even up when my parents are going to come out, the thing I asked for was musibatai na shumbusha to na mango gin. Because I told them, and yesterday I tested a cookie from somewhere. I said, this person has almost made a karichera cookie. Remember those yellow cookies?
Yes, we had them.
Oh my God, this cookie! I never ever had that taste again after your cookies. So I was like,
the taste
like
was why was it unique? If you could recall, the taste was the same as the taste of the cake.
Yes.
Because the recipe was the same. There was just a slight change, but it was the same recipe.
It was a nice recipe. I ate a cookie and I said, this cookie almost, but it wasn't quite. But I was like, since Karichara, we didn't know people can still make these nice cookies. And it was rich.
Yeah.
So what are your last remarks to our viewers? Because I'm sure viewers, the way we talked about the samosa, you must just taste it.
Definitely, Karichara Shumbusha is here to stay.
To stay.
It is here to stay.
That one is standard. Now, even the way your kids have
we are
started.
believing that we shall be able to open an outlet. And in the future, probably franchise it and you have more. I see a KFC
can you
sort
make
of
a raw shumbusha where someone can fry it at home, like package like the way they do in supermarkets? We package them and you keep them in a cool place or freezer.
I've seen several in the supermarket.
Yeah.
But one thing we do fresh. We do fresh samosas. We buy fresh meat. We do fresh flour.
Remember, you don't trust even
we don't keep overnight. These ones that you usually see, they are able to be kept for some time. I've had one or two people contacting me in that area for ready to fry. But I've not had somebody actually who is serious who wants them. Once I get one, I'm ready to try out that.
Because then you can sell to the supermarkets. Then they just cool them for you. But also
I made some
compromise.
Supermarkets. There was somebody who was doing it from Kansanga and he was saying it's several supermarkets. But all of a sudden it's not on the supermarket. I don't know what happened. And I didn't get the contact of that person. But I'm wondering why it's off the shelves and the freezers. It's not there.
Because it needs to be bought immediately.
Sure, I think that could have been the challenge.
Abroad, people, we do ready to fry a lot, like people there anyway. Ready to fry is the one thing. You don't have to go through the baking. But here they know from there I can pick shumbusha. From there I can pick. So they
still the conservative way.
So our attitude
things are changing.
But if you target like those huge supermarkets that people understand, like not really downtown, but like these other ones, then I'm sure they would buy the idea.
The
big malls.
I've visited some of the hotels. I did a CJ, did in some other hotels. Most of them, they have in-house bakeries. Most of the supermarkets, they have in-house bakeries because they make a bigger profit. The margin is bigger when they are doing it in-house. So it will be, then the other challenge I discovered, adulteration. You give them the samosa, tomorrow they make theirs and sell it as yours. So quality is compromised.
That's what I was about to say, that
it has ever happened to me.
It
has ever happened to me. So I'm a bit conscious on whom I pass it on.
You're right. Because
I'm very conscious. Once somebody knows that he's picking the Karichara Shumbusha with time now, he wants you off to produce something which is close to their product, but it's not. It's not the right one.
Copywriting your shumbusha. So what else are the last remarks that you have to a few?
So the Karichara Shumbusha is here. The outlet hopefully by next year we'll be out of this. We should be able to open. The production capacity is there. We believe we shall feed the whole of Kampala and
Uganda
the country.
Now you should be Uganda because the weight has crossed to Entebbe.
Yes.
Soon it will be on the plane going.
Yeah. I've exported 3 times: South Africa, Netherlands, and Dubai twice.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I've
So
had
you are
buying
seated
and
on a very big potential. We need to work on
Ugandans
it.
in Dubai, they send their friends and they take.
Now we need to work on your potential.
The potential is there. The potential is there.
So we pray for you to, because the way even you started with your dad, I think it has a bright future already. The bright future has already been set for it. Now it's you people to tap into it.
Yeah, sure.
Because there are some things that are destined for greatness, and you can tell. Something that started little, then persistence, consistency, patience. Then
we are now 7 years in Kampala, but the growth is slow and steady.
Yeah.
Because the selling, I know, once you're able to get fresh new customers every year,
that is when you know that you're doing well.
Because now the regulars that I have, they don't buy every day, but the profile, I think I have about 5,000 customers. They don't buy every day, but
at least once in a while a call comes in from 5,000.
It's about 5,000.
We are taking it. We are taking it a notch higher.
It's about 5,000.
I am asking my viewers to try this samosa. It doesn't care, or it don't care where you're from, either you're from the north or you're from the east. This samosa has no anything attached to it, like it's for this religion, it's for what, maybe when you're even vegetarian, there's a vegetable samosa.
Yeah, there's a vegetable samosa.
So it's for all types, it's for all tribes, it's for anyone, and you will not regret it. Trust me, I am a victim to use samosas. Only that for us, the size goes. The calories, but it's something that you can have once in a while. And what I noticed about is samosa, you eat one and you don't eat again. Like you want to eat the next day. It's really filling. It's really filling. It's just not any samosa. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. We're just going to run it across the screen. We run his contacts against the screen, but you will try it out. He has told you can deliver to your homes. You can send someone also to pick up from his place or from his Christ the King.
Christ the King.
Christ the King.
And Fridays.
Wednesday and Friday. What time again? The whole day.
From 1.
From 1.
Midday 1.
1. I usually say Q, especially on Fridays. Midday and 1. Wednesday and Friday. You can pass by Christ the King. If you have parties, anything, if you have those special guests, you can always order. If you want to have a surprise for your family, you can order. And his contacts are also going to run on the screen for anything, any questions, any more questions you have. But at least today we've also learned more that you don't have to underestimate the start. The start is very important because they started so small, with I don't know how many, like 10 samosas, but look where they are with how many clients, and he has no regrets. Some of us are there's a person I met, his father used to make shoes, leather shoes, good shoes. We knew him for shoes and was doing so well, but after the father passed on, the shoes went like no one was there to pick up the business, so it collapsed. And I was talking to them, I said, really, you're in Kampala, your father has a name that he already made. He has that leather. Up to now I have not seen that shoe in Kampala, and it was made here in Uganda, in Kawale. And I'm like, why don't you pick it up? You guys take it a notch higher. They said, once we have to go and buy sandals from where? When people are there, why don't you do something like that? And it even carries blessings. you're picking up something that your father did, and you pass it on to generations. Such things, by the way, last very long, and they have a unique blessing that goes with them. As he has said, KFC, McDonald's will be dead even to which generation, but that McDonald cannot change. So I encourage you and implore you to also continue doing that, and not to give up. Not to give up. Look out for these other small things we can start. If you started a samosa, it can be a mandazi, it can be anything.
Yeah.
And then you can pick it up from there. And I know they usually give me feedback about some of these videos, and they'll be like, the last video I did about the cake, and someone said, oh, I saw your video, I tried out the cake, it was what you talked about. So I'm like, I know, at least me, I've tested it, so I know what he's talking about. And I hope I know you've heard from the house's mouth that is available for parties, anything, name it. You can just be added to this. You just Facebook, what else?
Facebook, Karechera's Shumbusha. My WhatsApp number is 776-402-777. Okay. It's always on.
And it's always on.
It's always on.
Because it might be Samosa, but it's going to save our life.
Yeah.
4 p.m.
Yeah.
I mean 4 a.m.
Especially the pregnant ones.
Pregnant. My last pregnancy, I had those samosas for just. My skin started going down with the oil. That was Karechera Peter of Karechera Samosas or Samosas, telling us about his journey, or the journey of the samosas from where they started up to where they are now. And it has been quite informative for me. Like, it doesn't come easy. I don't think I've had any interviews where someone was like, oh, it was so smooth at the start. No, unless you are a robber. Even robbers, I think, have challenges. So his journey has not been easy. It has been a struggle. You have to apply patience. You have to be patient. You have to be consistent. But the most important thing, you have to believe in yourself. And he knew that he would do it. He believed he could. And then it kept him going. It didn't matter whether there was a consignment that had gone bad, or the car breakdowns, all those, those challenges we met, but he kept going. And his legacy, really, it's a legacy, I should say, that he has built, that they have built up as a family, and they're going to pass it on to generations. Soon we'll have maybe a McDonald's legacy here, the same kind of legacy, and it will be a trend, because most people start things and just end in thin air. When they die with them. But Peter, though his mom is not there anymore, Peter has taken it up, and his children are going to take it up. So I recommend his samosa any day, or his samosa. I can guarantee you won't regret it. Like he says, it's something you can have and you eat it the whole day. Those who have parties, those who have functions, don't hesitate to look for that samosa. I want to thank our viewers. Thank you for believing in us. I get feedbacks, and I'm really glad and I'm happy that all the time that I spend in putting my team and I putting this together, it has been worthwhile. I thank the Lord for that, and I don't take it for granted. Thank you for following us. Thank you for believing in us as well. We are glad we are changing lives, because it's what we're here to do. It's like a calling, and we're glad that we are pulling it off. We ask you to subscribe, share our videos, let other people get these messages. I'm telling you, we can get out of these things, the so-called life stressors. We can get out of it. Thank you so much. I also want to thank our sponsor, Serena. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for these cool environments we love so much. Exquisite. Thank you so much. And I know that, I'm sure Serena is picked up again. COVID has nothing on them. The SOPs are great. Everyone is doing well here. The rooms are back. The functions are going on. Anyone who has conferences, the banquets are open. Please don't hesitate to come here. They have packages, and support Serena. We love you. Take care of yourselves. Please keep your social distance, wear your masks, and sanitize on every opportunity you can, so that we stay alive. God bless you. Take care and bye.